Alright, so, hi, this is Jeremy. I'm here to talk about Oedipus Rex. I talked about it earlier, but unfortunately the microphone on my computer doesn't really work, so hopefully this time goes a little bit better. But, let's see. I'd already read it in high school, so I was pretty familiar with it already. And I guess on the surface, the first thing that I noticed this time around was just how much more simple the narrative is compared to, like, modern narratives. Because it's pretty straightforward, you know. The prophecy happens, they do this, and then it's really easy to follow. The circle is very easy to follow. It's not nearly as convoluted as a modern narrative would need to be with all the twists and turns that we have to have now. Like, even something like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is probably more confusing to follow than that. Which isn't really a criticism, it's just something that's interesting. And one thing that simplicity actually helps is you can really understand the themes better. And you don't have like a bunch of other stuff, you know, clouding the issue. So you can really, it gets down to the nitty-gritty of what the story is about, which is, I guess on the surface, a story about fate, and how no matter what you do, you can't escape it. Because if Oedipus's dad actually fulfills his own fate, basically, by trying to avoid it. And so that's a pretty interesting point. I'm not sure necessarily how accurate it is, but it definitely lines up with the Greek idea of fate. Another interesting idea is more the social aspects with the Oedipal complex, you know, love the mother, kill the father, which sort of makes sense, I think, from a social standpoint, actually, because the first people of either gender that you really meet are your parents. So, of course, your first love interest, or the closest thing you have to a love interest at first, is probably going to be the parent whose gender is opposite yours. And of course, if you're a guy, that'll be your mom. And with guys, there's always a competitive element. So that's probably where the hating the father comes in, because you and your dad are in the house together, you grow up together, and there's always going to be some competition. And as you get older, you want to be more independent, so you're going to want to try and do things differently than what he wants you to do. And I think the average guy's relationship with his father is probably a lot more antagonistic than that with his mother. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a fairly good summation of everything, so I guess I'm done. See you later.